Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'd like to welcome the highly accomplished marketing executive and entrepreneur, Audrey Nesbitt. So, welcome, Audrey.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Audrey, I'd firstly like to congratulate you on all your achievements. So, can you share with us how your entrepreneurial journey started?
I think my entrepreneurial journey started maybe 2014. I opened a restaurant with a friend of mine in Toronto. And through her husband was mining Bitcoin. And then that introduced me to the whole cryptocurrency and moved me into Web3. And I caught the entrepreneurial bug then, and I haven't looked back.
Well, that's amazing. So, with over 2 decades of amazing marketing and business development experience, how would you say over the past 2 decades, marketing and business development has changed and shifted? And what do you believe will be the effects of the development of AI and technology going forward? And can you give us any examples?
So I think one thing that hasn't changed is messaging. And I always try to look at something from a human experience before I add technology to it.
Yes,
And what has changed is, especially the younger generations, is they want more authenticity. They
yes.
want to know that the brands that they're aligning with have purpose and a mission, and that those values and missions align with what younger generations are looking for, equality, diversity, environmental concerns, and what have you. Another thing that has greatly changed is the barking marketing doesn't work anymore. That whole just billboard, 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 it doesn't work anymore.
No.
They look for relationships and community and engagement and authentic, not clearly as a sales pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And not this mass marketing, mass messaging definitely doesn't work as it used to. So, what would you say some of your biggest lessons have been within your career? And I'm sure you've had many, but what would you say stands out for you the most?
Ooh, that would be tough. Like so much, right? I think listen to your gut and stay true to you can be like the best. I've been in situations where I was not valued, where I've also been hired where I was like a token hire, where it was like they hired me as an executive just to kind of check a box,
Yeah,
but they didn't involve me in anything. And it was such a horrendous feeling. And, it's interesting. I think the main lesson I've learned is learn how to quit and quit fast and move on. We're raised to not quit, but I actually think it's the reverse is we should learn when to quit when it's not working for us, when it's mentally not healthy, physically not healthy. We should start saying, I don't know if I can swear on here, but anyways, we should start saying, and move on. And
yeah, absolutely.
that's not running away from things when they get tough. It's quitting things that just don't serve you and are just no longer working for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you have established a solid reputation for industry transformation and advocacy for women. So, can you share with us more about this and what are some of the challenges you come up against and how do you navigate and change the narrative?
So it's interesting because initially, so when I started with Crypto Chicks, which started as a nonprofit educational hub for women in cryptocurrency and now the Web3 AI space, we've now expanded to youth, and we've always included male members. What I find is, back then, 2014, 2015, we were having a lot of female panels talking about how to get more women in the C-suite and how to get more women startups funded. And you get to a point where it's like, God, I'm tired. I don't want to be talking about this all the time. I want to be
Yeah,
on a panel with my counterparts. But then stuff happens, and it's like we still need to have these conversations because very little's changing. There's a lot of companies saying, yes, yes, we believe in diversity, but do they really, at the end of the day, are they really bringing, more women into that bros club? Because I think there's a very human, knee-jerk reaction is we want to stick with what we know. And that guy that I interviewed knows crypto and football and you know what I mean? So it's kind of like on some level, there's still that bros club.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, so I mean, the numbers don't lie. Why do we need to, now in Canada, they're talking about they have to list in a job listing the pay range, right? So why does that have to be regulated? Why, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it just seems like
why does
it's,
that have to be regulated?
yeah. And it seems like it's been way too much controlled. But
Yeah.
yeah. So your dynamic entrepreneurial experience is exemplified by your delivery of innovative campaigns across diverse and niche sectors, from blockchain law and decentralized finance. So can you share with us more about this and what were the benefits and challenges within these sectors?
So what I find really works, and it's also a change on how marketing is obviously you want to be where your customer or your client is. In Web3, that's community building, and a lot of that community building is online. In law, a lot of that community building is at specific events that are happening, in various areas. So for me, when you're looking at a specific unique marketing campaign, obviously the first challenge is understanding, what I do is I look at how is everybody marketing currently,
Mm.
and what parts of that gerbil hamster wheel do we continue with, and how do we start to pivot out of the box. And a lot of the out of the box, so you want to do the Google reviews, you want to do social media, and there's those content pieces, but there's still a lot of in-person events that can be beneficial to specific markets. And it's figuring out unique ways to connect to the community that's not advertising.
Yes, that makes sense. So I'd like to talk to you more about the decentralized finance sector and what do you feel the pros and cons are of this and what do you think is going to happen going forward?
So the decentralized finance, or DeFi, is growing, and I think it's going to continue to grow, especially with younger generations. So decentralized finance is I guess the easiest way to sum it up. It's traditional financial products, but on a decentralized platform or through decentralization. So the challenge right now with DeFi and cryptocurrency is trust, because at the end of the day,
Mm,
you're in control of your finances. There's no bank you can go to and complain to, even though there are products that have, like you hear a lot about the exchanges, getting into trouble. Like right now, we have the whole, FTX fiasco, and that was centralization. At the end of the day, that was centralization. It was in crypto, but it was centralized, meaning
mm.
humans were controlled. So when it's fully and honestly and decentralized, you're in full control of what you are doing. And, obviously we have to trust the platforms, and there's some amazing ones like Uniswap that, have been very successful, but you're basically in charge of your own funds. You can lend, you can borrow, you can invest. So it's incredible. So the challenges are that regulation, right? There's a big learning curve right
Mm.
now. It's not so easy for the average Joe to get involved with DeFi, but those barriers are coming down.
So there's still obviously a lot more to come in terms of technology and the advancement of the platforms as well, I'm assuming.
No, 100%. Like, it's a growing market, and younger generations love gamification, love crypto, and that's going to be the driving force. It's what they want, right? They love
Yes.
it.
Amazing. So, what would you say some of your biggest career highlights have been? Or again, you probably had multiple, but what stands out for you the most?
Recently, in the crypto space, would be the success of Crypto Chicks. Obviously, we've gone from being a meetup to working with governments and creating events and hackathons for women all over the world, including Pakistan, where obviously the security challenges and the challenges bringing a lot of women together are very different than running these events in the West.
Yeah.
And to me, that's been incredible. in law, I've been I'm an aggressive marketer.
Mm.
And, with the law firm, which was in all US major markets, at one time, I would say we would rank number one for keyword search terms in every major market in the US. And case intake just went up. Wow, just exponentially. And recently, I've been nominated for some awards. One is Startup of the Year, and just recently in marketing and innovation. And that will be announced next year, whoever the winner is of that award.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So you also have a deep passion for several nonprofits. So can you tell us more about this and where did your passion, inspiration, and focus come from, and what made you choose these several nonprofits that you decided to work with?
So Crypto Chicks is the main one. And Crypto Chicks, I know the name. It's so funny when we started with the name, it was Crypto Chicks was founded by two Russian women, and they're amazing. And they were thinking chicks like little chicks, like little chicks. And back then, we'd say Crypto Chicks, and people were like, "Oh, busty women on YouTube talking about Bitcoin." And it's like, no, that's not what it is. Like even our branding and marketing is very youth centric and innocent, and the progress we've made, including like during COVID, we got grants from the Canadian government to talk to women entrepreneurs and teach women entrepreneurs about emerging technology and how they can incorporate emerging technology into their businesses. And then recently, again, with the Canadian government on creating gap education for high school students. So technology moves faster than education can change. So
Yes.
we came up with courses and we've been teaching them to high school students on, drag and drop website development, blockchain, cryptocurrency, AI, content creation with AI, and build an app, drag and drop app building, all of these more entrepreneurial skills that they can add on to, young kids are already highly tech savvy and social media savvy, and but to bridge some of that education that they're just not, they can't build the courses fast enough and get teachers, to start teaching where technology is going.
So I want to talk about leadership or the lack of leadership from both an entrepreneurial and business and global perspective. And what do you think needs to change the current narrative? And what do you believe makes your leadership style different? And can you give us any examples?
So I can give you one clear example where I believe a good leader and the leader that I try to be is how can I make the people that work for me better?
Yes.
How can I help them? How can I help them grow? How can I help them make their dreams come true? Even when, you might have somebody great working for you and you just know it's not their dream to be maybe in your market. Maybe they have a dream to be somewhere else, but they're great. How can I help them? How can I help
Mm,
them while they're helping me? Right. So I think that's perspective. I've worked for leaders where they were like, how can you make me better? How can you make me famous? How can you make me get recognition? They
mm,
weren't thinking about building a strong team. It was about how that team could build them.
yes.
I like to think and drive and be the leader that is, how can I make you better? How can I really make this team fantastic and create leaders, right? How can I create a team of leaders?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a much better way at the end of the day because if that person moves on and you haven't actually grown the people and individuals as a team, then it doesn't work
Right.
so well. So,
And to me, when you have somebody that's willing, my career at the law firm, my mentor and boss was Russ Brown, and we worked so well together. And we built that trust and communication because he had no ego. He couldn't give a shit,
yeah.
about get me in articles and all that kind of stuff. He was very much, what can I do to make you successful in this role? And that was actually when I had the light go off on a leadership kind of moment for myself. And I had this young man work for me at the time, and he was probably my best employee. I trusted him wholeheartedly. I trusted him on the road with all of our equipment. trucks and motorcycles and everything. And when he completed something or did something, he would submit the work, and then he needed instant pat on the back, right? Like he needed instant acknowledgement that I received it and that it was great. And one time when I knew that was happening, I was like, God, doesn't he know I'm busy?
Yeah.
And then I caught myself, and this was my light bulb moment where I said, wait a minute, it's not his job to figure out my needs. It's my job to figure out his needs. And he's the best that I have. And I will give him whatever he needs to continue to be the best, and then to build that relationship with me. And that was my acknowledging moment of, no, it's my job to know what he needs. It's not his job to know what I need. I'm his boss. It's my job to know what he needs for him to continue to be my best employee. And that was my
Yeah,
moment.
your aha moment, as
Yeah.
they say. So you did obviously speak about your nomination. Is this the only award that you've been nominated for, or have there been other awards in the past? And if so, do you believe that these sort of accolades help open up other doors in terms of business?
There's been other awards, but not with me specifically. So Crypto Chicks has been nominated for a lot of awards, including IT Company of the Year, Woman in IT of the Year for the founder, Elena. And there's a couple of other awards that Crypto Chicks has been not. So as much as, yes, I was very much a part of those awards and stuff, the two that I've mentioned, I was specifically named in.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Do they help? I mean, I think they help somewhat, right? I think they build credibility and that sort of thing. But for my latest venture, which is Bloomly, which is an NFT all-in-one platform, I have to deliver results. The titles that the nominations and stuff mean little. I need to deliver results. I need to build a great team and build a product for future generations. And that's what I'm going to focus on, is just building a great product.
Amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So that leads me to the final question. What are the three key pieces of advice you would give to other entrepreneurs, and what legacy would you like to leave, or how would you like to be remembered?
Network, get out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Understand that even where you're starting your company is not where it should be. Like maybe it should be in a different jurisdiction, different country, and be open. Also, on your first startup, there's always a struggle in startups on when to exit. And a lot of new founders like to hold on to a lot of equity. But time, like innovation happens so quickly that they could lose relevance really quickly. And I saw, I'm trying to think, I follow him on Twitter, and he's a really well-known startup guy. And he's like, if exit, right? If you're being offered enough money to get it up and running and out the door, take the money and build your second startup, kind of thing. Don't be holding on to, we get greedy. And I don't want to, from a startup perspective and an entrepreneur, I don't want to say that they're being greedy, but I've seen it happen where founders want to hold on to a lot of equity, and there's investors circling, and they're not biting, and then the market crashes, and they're for years because they didn't, suck it up and take the investment and lower the valuation. And it's a gamble, right? I mean, everything is timing.
Yeah,
So,
there's a trade-off
and
on everything.
100%, like even now, or in the last little while, because in Web3 we've been in a bear market, and that is, don't be afraid to team up with another company and merge and co-create to get past this rough time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and keep going, keep trying.
And what legacy, or how would you like to be remembered?
I think I want to be remembered as somebody that just kept trying, kept throwing it out there, kept taking risks, and stayed positive, the whole time. One of the things in my life, I will be damned, and that is to be an angry, bitter person. So I am still
Yes.
taking risks. I am still taking risks. I am still having fun. And every time in my life when I have taken a major risk, sometimes it's not the top of the mountain that you're aiming for that happens, but you end up in another amazing direction or something incredible happens. And it's like, leap, life's too short, keep taking risks. And yeah, every time I've leaped, it's resulted in amazing adventures.
Amazing. So, if people would like to get in contact with you, what would be the best ways?
Follow me on LinkedIn, Audrey Nesbitt, and on Twitter, or X now, Audrey Nesbitt 11, and Audrey Nesbitt on Instagram. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, and hopefully we can have you back in the future to see where you are in your journey.
No, absolutely. Anytime, Karen.